Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. As always, I am Talkin Stock. I am your host, Joshua David. We are having a good time talking stock in studio. Let's start that over. That just sounded really weird. We're going to keep it live on the YouTube stream, though.
All right. It's a blooper.
That's a blooper of the day. We are staying live on Spreaker today. You guys all get the good bloopers here. All right, let's start over here. Let's restart here. And here we go. One more time.
Take two.
Go, YouTube. Take two. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, Talkin Stock. I am your host, Joshua David, and I have my good friend, my good pal, Mr. Al Connickson with me here today. And if you did miss tickets for this investing class that we do locally at our academies, specifically in Atlanta, Georgia, Bloomington, Minnesota, and also Denver, Colorado, you can text the word INVEST to the number 484848. When you do that, you're going to get a text right back, so make sure to click the link in the text. That will bring you to the register page, the page to register. Pick a date that works for you, and you're also going to get a call and make sure you get that right date, but also some free stock picks come along with that. So everybody likes a little bit of free stuff, especially these days. And now I just got to mention, we have our airlines and all public transportation taking the mask mandate away.
Toss those masks.
Crowd goes wild on Spreaker here. But Al, you talked about in the last segment about just the novice investor, especially with broker accounts. They're in a buy and hope strategy. I think you called it and throw it and stick or something.
Toss and stick and rising tide.
Whatever that means. I like the one-liners, but you really teach a lot of these in these investing classes how to invest properly. What do you mean by that, and how can our listeners take some of this insight and get started in the markets?
Well, if your goal in investing is to have it benefit you, to be profitable, to be successful, then you have to know what makes you successful. What are the things you can do to increase your odds or your probabilities of being successful? And the number one thing we believe is knowing when price is going to change, because that's the most important thing. I mentioned in that first segment that most people are trading subjectively, where they think they know more than the market, think they're smarter than the market. That will never happen. And to trade objectively, in other words, to kind of take your brain, take your gut out of the trading and investing world for you, because that you become your worst enemy if you let your emotions get involved. To be able to control those, you have to trade objectively, which means you have to follow a set of rules, a strategy that has a step-by-step process based on rules that tell you whether a trade or investment you're looking at making is a good quality one or not. When it gets down to price, what moves price? Why does the price of something go up? Let's just say that you invent a product tomorrow, a pill, little tiny pill that cures cancer, that cures heart disease, that cures COVID. It cures all sorts of things in one little pill. Okay. And you put together a company. That should be just a rocket ship of a company, right?
You think so.
But what happens if nobody buys your stock?
It's no good.
Nothing happens. It doesn't go anywhere. It takes buyers to increase the value or the price of something. It takes sellers to reduce the price. But it has to be in a high enough quantity where it has an impact. So what if there was a way for you to get a reading on where the buying pressure is on a price chart and where the selling pressure is on a price chart based on institutional activity, people that have hundreds of millions or billions or trillions of dollars to invest in these markets? That's where you want to be. You want to be trading with these people because they're the ones that are moving the market. And I think there's some things that are really critical that we go over. You mentioned one word in that last segment, and that was risk.
I had one word, huh?
One word that came across as really being important. There were maybe two or three other things.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
But the number one thing that we get across to all of our students, and this, whether you're a student of ours or not, this should be the most important thing for you, is managing risk. It's not how much money you can make, it's how much you keep. And not losing big is the most important thing. You don't have to be successful all the time, but managing risk is the number one goal for you.
Yep.
And then trading a style that is specific to you. We don't look at everybody as being the same. Everyone is unique and has different needs, different personalities. So there are different assets and strategies that can be used that maybe fit more in line with you. And then just trade like the institutions. You're either trading, thinking, acting, and executing like the pros, or you're thinking, acting, and executing like an amateur. And we know who will win that battle every time.
You're right. It takes the big money to move the market. You want to trade like them. In a lot of these investing classes that I teach, I always have people write down right away, trade like a bank, not against them, because it's kind of like find somebody who knows what they're doing and basically do what they do. And as you were talking about, having a rules-based strategy, which is step by step, that's what the institutions are doing. That's what our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, teaches, is a step-by-step strategy to make smart investing decisions like the banks and institutions, not against them. If you want to learn more about that, Al teaches investing classes locally here in Bloomington. We also have these here in Denver and also Atlanta. So I'm going to give away some tickets to this investing class, and it's going to be a text here, so get your phones ready. You can text the word INVEST to the number 484848 for 2 tickets and some free stock picks. When you receive a text back, click the link. That'll bring you to the landing page to pick a date that works the best on your schedule. We have these during the week, during the day, in the evenings. We also have these on the weekends. So pretty much anybody can attend based on any schedule. So Al, you were talking about different styles and a strategy that is specific to you. So let's just say an investor or a person, one of our listeners might be saying, hey, I need some income strategies for whatever reason. So how do you apply that rules step-by-step strategy for an income style strategy in the market?
Well, really, there's 2 components to everyone's financial life. One is an income component. That's where you're accumulating assets. Typically, you're working. And then the other is kind of a wealth and retirement strategy or component of your financial life. That's what you want to build throughout your working career. So when you retire, you have something there to rely on through the next 20, 30, for some people, 40 years. But income is, I think, the most important thing to learn, because before you can create wealth, before you can create what you need in retirement, you have to work on that income component. Most people just look at a job as the only way of providing income for them. And I think I read something by Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a book called Retire Young, Retire Rich. And this is a quote from that book that I think is really appropriate. He said that earned income, that's from your job, is the worst source of income for several reasons. Firstly, it's the highest taxed income. Secondly, you have to work hard for it, and it absorbs all your valuable free time. Thirdly, there is limited leverage in it, in that the only way to earn more is to work longer and work harder. And finally, there's precious little residual value in this income, in that each day you have to start fresh again. Rich people have money work for them as opposed to working for money. So I think that's really appropriate. And what we have found, we know from studies that have been done that only about 5% of the people in the country are financially secure. That means 95% are struggling. And one of the differences there is, actually all those differences we really kind of cover in these classes. Managing risk is one. Using the right assets is another. And then also having multiple sources of income. And by that, we don't mean multiple jobs, but that's how a lot of people try to approach it. If they're struggling a little bit, they'll get a second job or part-time job or work overtime. That's just taking more of your time away from your family and away from you having an enjoyable life. But multiple sources of income are available with the markets. I mean, there are a number of things you can do. People get side jobs. They get, there's kind of a gig economy now. But people can trade the stock market for income. They can trade the futures market, the foreign exchange market, the options market, the cryptocurrency market, maybe some real estate investments. So there are a number of different choices there. And maybe one or two of those are more appropriate for you as opposed to a couple that might be appropriate for someone else. So we try to help you there, putting together a plan that is specific to you, that helps you, gives you the opportunity to have the potential to achieve your goals as quickly and as effectively as possible.
Yeah, and you kind of just hitting the nail on the head there with we were conditioned from a young age, and this is from probably kindergarten on. Go to school, get a good job,
Yep.
work hard, start a 401k, and things are going to be great.
Yeah, and put some
Well,
money in the bank,
yeah, and put
a
some money in
savings
the
account.
bank in a savings account where you're getting 0.00001%,
Yeah,
right around there.
I think I figured out when it would take you 1,200 years to double your money in a savings account if you start
That's
now.
not any. That's not the rule of 72.
No.
But the people are not satisfied with that. They're not satisfied with just their job, so they're going to get second jobs, and that's not what people really want to do. It's about living life how you choose to live. So you were talking about different income strategies. What are the different assets? Obviously you mentioned them earlier: the futures market, the forex market, the options market. Great for income strategies. Explain those a little bit. And I know you go into more detail in these investing classes. In about 1.5 minutes, explain what those markets are and used for.
Well, they're great.
Okay, show's over,
summarize,
everybody.
yeah, right. But they have leverage. So the futures market is where you're looking at what the value of something will be in the future. It can be stock markets, the major stock markets, foreign markets. It can be commodities, oil, gold, silver, your favorite,
Lean hogs.
lean hogs, currencies, interest rates, a number of different things. Some of which are correlated, some are not correlated, some are inversely correlated. Gives you an opportunity for great diversification with huge leverage, anywhere from maybe 20 to 1 to maybe 100 to 1 or more. That
But
means
what does that mean, though?
that means each dollar has a multiple of itself in what it can control. So a small margin account, brokerage account, maybe a couple $1,000s would give you the opportunity to potentially be involved with an investment that's maybe $50,000 to $100,000.
Well, that'll be the forex market because that's actually 50 to 1 leverage.
Forex is 50 to 1.
So it gives investors buying power, Al.
Exactly. It really maximizes the value of your capital, but it also allows people with smaller amounts of money to participate in something that has the potential for much higher returns.
Yeah, and that's really compared to the stock market because the stock market requires a certain amount of money to use because it ties up all that capital.
That's exactly right. So for a lot of people, it's hard to use the stock market as a way of getting to the point where they want to be from a financial standpoint. These leveraged assets like futures, the foreign exchange market, which you mentioned, which we call Forex, that's where you're looking at the difference in exchange rates between two different currencies, and options. Options also have leverage. Futures and Forex also trade basically 24 hours a day. So
You're right,
it gives you a lot of opportunities there to fit this within your schedule, which is for some people a hard thing to do with just the stock market, which is only open 6.5 hours.
Yeah, and in the next segment, I want to talk a little bit more about that 24-hour market, giving people opportunities to, like you said, have that side job in the evening. But you teach investing classes locally. I do as well. We have classes in Denver, Colorado, Bloomington, Minnesota, and Atlanta, Georgia. When people come to these classes, give a little a quick snippet here on what people can learn in that class.
Right. Well, they first of all, I guess they learn whether the markets are something that are right for them, investing and trading. Is that the right thing for you to do? What are the benefits there, and how can we really simplify things by cutting through a lot of the? I used this word fluff before, which I think you laughed at, but there's a lot of opinions and a lot of ideas out there on trading and investing that really are, I'm going to say, a waste of time. Just concentrate on what really is important, and that's what we teach you. We show you how we help you manage risk and how you can put together a strategy, a portfolio strategy that is applicable to you and to what you want to achieve. Where are you now financially? Where do you want to be in the future? And then how do you bridge the gap and get there the best way possible?
Yeah.
That's what we show you, what those opportunities are.
And in these classes, are you just seeing like 20s and 30-year-olds, or are you seeing, 50s and 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds? What type of people?
Every person you can think of, for age range anywhere from probably 16, 17 up to 90.
How about, having 401ks or not?
Yes. Some people have 401ks. A lot of people don't. I think a lot of people in the financial world assume everybody has access to an employer-sponsored retirement plan. Not everybody does, or not everybody can contribute to it because they need most of the money from their income just to pay their bills and just kind of live the lifestyle they want to live.
Yeah.
So Basically, any financial need or desire we cover and we see in these classes.
Yeah, to come into one of these classes right here in Denver, Bloomington, or Atlanta, just text the word invest to the number 484848. You can receive a text back with some free stock picks that come along with the registration. But Al, we have a lot of people locally here in these cities, Denver, Bloomington, and Atlanta, that want to get started. You can also call right now. Call 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets because you can bring a friend. Also, some free stock picks. Coming up next, Al, I do want to just touch on that 24-hour market one more time, but also some different retirement strategies for people that have 401ks or
Yep.
don't. Coming up next, we'll be right back.